Hello to everyone that's joining. I really wanted to share something with you guys. I spoke about this a couple of weeks ago in my private mastermind group, and I really wanted to talk about self-mastery because for a lot of you all, 2022 is the year. You're like, man, this is my year. I'm about to do it. I'm gonna get all my dreams, my goals. I'm not letting anybody stop me. All my friends or everybody in my life who's not building, I'm letting them go. All the people in my life who aren't helping me with my goals, who are nagging, who are, being negative, I'm gonna cut them off. I'm moving to this next phase of my life. We have so many goals, but now it's time for the practical steps. How do we get there? For a lot of you all, you have financial goals. You want to hit numbers that you've never made before. You want to start businesses and you've never started a business before. You want to create your first positive, successful relationship and you haven't done it before. So when I thought about today, I'm like, you know what? I want to drop some practical information so that everyone who is tuning in, who has goals and are ready to reach some heights that they've never achieved before, they have some information that can help them get there. And, like I said, I shared this with my mastermind, and one of the things that I've really focused on over the last 10 years was to master myself. When we really think about a lot of our patterns and a lot of the cycles we've been through, a lot of you guys have had, good relationships, and then all of a sudden things didn't go right, or you had a good job, or you had an opportunity. But there's a reoccurring theme with people that I work with, and it's self-sabotage. Opportunities came up and they sabotaged them some way, whether they had fears, whether, they weren't yet prepared for the opportunity and it got sabotaged. So how can we achieve our goals this year? And I want you all to, instead of focusing on, this year I want to hit that level of whatever that financial amount is, or I want to hit whatever the X goal is, I want you all to focus on this year. You're going to master yourself. You're going to reach a higher level of self-mastery. And what that looks like is, yes, it's connecting more with self-love, it's discovering new aspects of yourself, making yourself a priority. But really, the greatest thing that we can do is to evaluate ourselves. Evaluate, what are the areas in our life that are weak? What are the areas of our life that are triggers? And how do we keep messing up or limiting our own potential? Because when we evaluate those things, then we're going to start getting some answers. And we're going to start realizing that it's not that we haven't reached opportunity. It's not that God hasn't been sending us the blessing all along. It's we haven't stepped into the fullness and been ready to walk into the fullness of that thing. And it's because we haven't yet mastered aspects of ourselves. So when we write down this definition of self-mastery, self-mastery is the ability to control one's own desires or impulses. It's self-control. It's self-discipline. And it sounds so simple, but for a lot of us, the dreams and the aspirations that we have, this level of success, is on the other side of the discipline. It's after we've focused and daily activated our certain tasks or worked on ourselves, or say you're in a business and you want to grow your business and you're making 10 calls a day, doubling it down and saying, I'm making 20 calls a day, I'm making 50 calls a day, and I'm going to do it every single day until my business booms or until it grows. What happens is so often, we're praying for the result, but we're not doing the action to qualify us for the result that we're going after. And that's not how the universe works. We're saying, hey, I deserve to have this blessing. I desire to have this blessing. And what God is saying, what the universe is saying, okay, awesome. Well, show yourself. There's a scripture that says, study to show yourself approved. It says, ask and the answer will be given. Seek and you will find. Knock and the door will be answered to you. It's not that you can't have it. It's, are you putting forth the effort and the consistency to get the thing that you desire? So when we really break that down, there's a couple of things that I wrote down. And again, I share some of this in the mastermind group. So I can't go all the way in depth, right? Because my private community, this is information that they're paying for. But I wanted to share with you just a couple of the things. how do we attain mastery? How do we attain mastery? And let me give you guys an example of mastery. We'll go to a basketball game and we'll see LeBron James play basketball, right? And LeBron James is making, millions of dollars, one of the highest paid athletes in the world. And on the outside, we think that, hey, we're just paying to go see him because he's a good player. But when you break it down, that's not what we're paying for. We're paying for his level of mastery. We're paying for the hours, the tens of hours of development that he spent to become the best at his craft. And because he is the best in his craft, because he is better, right, than a lot of other people, he's mastered his craft, then the level of value that he gives for the consumer and to the sport is so high. But he spent the time to master himself. And because of that, the market, the customers, the fans are willing to pay, a premium dollar to see him. But he started with talent, but the talent didn't get him the level of excellence that he has. It's the level of mastery. It's the level of development that he's put into his skill. And it's the same thing for musicians, people who are putting their effort and their time to develop their craft. And a lot of you are here for relationship, right? So it's the same thing. When I look at relationship, I tell people all the time, relationships are built. So often when I coach people, they're like, hey, I'm waiting to attract the perfect mate. I'm waiting for, that awesome man who's going to come into my life. And I'm like, well, that's awesome. That's good. And that's fine. But in the process, all the attributes that you want in this perfect, in this amazing relationship, start building in yourself. Start mastering those things in yourself. You want someone who is patient with you. Raise your level of patience so that the standard of patience that you vibrate is so high that only people in the same caliber are attracted into your life. If you want someone who's emotionally available, then tear down all the guards, all the walls from around your heart and step into the fullest amount of trust so that you can overflow and open up your emotions so the type of people you attract in your life are on the same caliber. So today we're focused on attaining mastery. And how do we attain mastery first over ourselves? It's deliberate practice. You guys, deliberate practice. And a lot of you all, have waken up and you're on your spiritual journey now. But spirituality is not just something that we do. It's who we are. It's, who we become. It's the way we think, the way that we act. And it's by no means any level of perfection. But what it is a lifestyle where we're connected to ourselves and connected to everything around us. But how do we step into that level of mastery where we become it? It's our practices, you all. I meditate every day. Hey, I may not have been able to meditate this morning, but I took 3 minutes in the car before I, went into work just to be centered, just to connect. It's our practices. We are defined by the things that we practice every day. For every single one of you all who are looking for love and you want a higher level of love, practice being the highest vibration of love that you can be. Instead of saying, hey, the last time that I opened up my heart and I loved, it got broken. So now I'm going to start being a little more reserved to protect myself. Say, the last time I may have gotten hurt, but I've learned from that experience, not to connect to just anybody. And instead of me not loving, I'm going to love even more. Why? Because that is what fulfills me. That's what makes me happy. And I choose to love so that everybody who comes into my life are able to receive that love and also give love, feel comfortable, feel safe to give that level of love. So whatever you want in life, you have to practice it daily until you become it. The next thing that I want to say for mastery is have well-defined goals, you all. Whatever that thing is, if you're saying that I want to grow my business, I'm a coach and I want to be better at my craft. I want to be a better coach. then practice and have a goal where, you're reaching out to more clients. You're taking on clients, coaching, holding space in a container, maybe once a month, so that you can get more experience and more practice. You have to have a well-defined goal, because without the goal, there will be no way for you to track the development. And with the development, y'all, with the experience comes more confidence. A lot of us are scared and don't really have the level of confidence that we desire. It's because we're not putting ourselves out there, because we're playing halfway in, halfway out. In relationships, we're playing halfway in, halfway out. We have to have well-defined goals, and we have to become the goals. And the next thing is have dedicated time and focus. Whether it's your spiritual practice, whether it's your business. And here's the thing that I want to say about business, because there's a lot of people who want to increase financially, but you're not studying money and how it works. You're not studying abundance. So this goes into dedicated time and focus. If one of your goals is to step into a higher level of financial abundance, then every single day, what you're basically saying is, I want to become abundant. I want it to be me. So that is my reality, that everything I touch and I receive overflows with a level of abundance. If it's not your reality now, it means that that's not what you are being or how you are operating. So deliberate practice, dedicated time and focus. Say, listen, every day for 30 minutes before I go to bed, I read a financial book. 30 minutes before I go to bed, I'm going to, have affirmations. I'm going to study money, what abundance looks like. I'm going to figure out, how I can practice, saving money or investing, whether it's $10 a month. So every month from this moment forward, I'm moving closer to that abundance. Unless you are doing it and practicing and having that dedicated time, you're not going to become it. The formula is easy, right? We attract what we are. Our reality is based on who we are being. I've spent the last 10 years, and what makes me successful as a coach is because all I care about is learning the formulas and learning the keys. Even when that means that my success and lack of success is the realization because I am not doing what it takes to be successful. And it's been many hard moments and many hard truths, but until we come to that realization, we're not going to be able to change and take the action to create what we desire, you guys. 2022 is about massive responsibility. It's massive responsibility for our life. It's realizing that, hey, I don't have what I want, not because I can't, not because I don't deserve it. It's because I haven't yet became the vibration and done what is necessary to create it. That's it. That's it. As soon as you step into that and you have the action to match, the law of manifestation and the law of resonance have to go into effect. And it has to start giving you, reflecting back to you who you are and what you are being. The next thing that I want to tell you guys is, on this journey, there's two types of learning to be able to step into that level of self-mastery. There's input learning. Input learning, what that is what you're doing right now. You're sitting here and you're listening. It's just going inside of you. Audiobooks, podcasts, all of these things, that's input learning. Listening to mentors, listen to coaches. That's input learning, is going in. But the second half of that is output learning. How are you able to practice what you are learning? We're in a generation where everybody feels like they know because they've started to listen and take in information. But what if I told you that's only half the battle? The other half of the battle is to actually output learn, actually practice and put into action. Because what happens is you begin to embody it. Your level of confidence starts to raise because you're starting to be able to do the actions to see results. And in this journey of mastery, we have to start seeing our wins. We have to start seeing that the action steps that we're taking are producing results. And we only are able to see that when we're actually, activating that output learning. We're actually doing it. So again, whether it's abundance, and you're like, hey, I want to one day just live off my investments. Well, you should be investing $10 a month, in the market, or whatever your investment strategy is, $20, something to get started so you can actually say, man, I'm an investor. Right now I'm investing $10 a month, but it's going to be 10,000 one day, and it's going to be $1 million one day. But if you're only sitting back saying what you're going to do, the universe cannot compile, grow, mature your actions because you haven't yet activated them. So this is a journey that isn't just for you. It's a journey of action where you co-create with the universe, where you activate and walk in the things that God put into your heart, and then boom, the increase and the blessings come. But you got to take that action. And then the next thing that I'm going to talk about is I want to talk about emotions. I want to talk about emotions because emotions, have the power to make or break us. There's a lot of us who have missed opportunities. There's a lot of us who have missed the ideal relationship because we weren't able to be in tune with our emotions. And stuff happened and we were triggered. And we said the wrong thing. We tore people down. Our emotions are a gift if we know how to be in tune with them, you all. And what happened is, from early childhood, a lot of us have had negative reactions when we've opened up ourselves emotionally. And it can start, and I love using this example, from as early as when we're a child and we get super excited. We're 3 years old, 4 years old. We get super excited when our parents come home. They're tired from a long day at work. They're stressed out from their job. We're excited, mommy, mommy, mommy. And she's like, hey, go be quiet. Go sit in your room. I'm stressed out right now, or give me a moment. And they shut us down. And all we know is that I'm so excited to see my mom and I want to express myself and let her know. But I get yelled at. I get shut down. And we grow up, as kids, we might like, you might be a woman or whatever. You like a little boy in school, or your boy, you like a little girl or whatever. And, you express it, you get shut down, and it hurts, it's painful. And as you grow up, you really just realize that every time I really express myself or I put my emotions out there, it's painful, and it just doesn't work out for me. So a lot of us have shut down aspects of ourselves when it comes to our emotions because earlier on we didn't have success expressing them and being accepted. So what happens is, instead of utilizing and understanding how to use our emotions for manifestation or connect at a deep level, we've cut off parts of ourselves. So when it comes to self-mastery, one of the things that I want to, let you guys know is mastery of the emotions is something that can speed up your manifestation process. And the first thing I want to say when it comes to the emotions is to learn how to regulate them. I know there's been times in relationships where you were so upset, so angry, and it's just all inside of you. You feel like it's exploding, and you've just let loose. You've just blurted out your emotions, and you've destroyed the relationship, or you tore people down, or you've really broken down relationships because your emotions, you haven't been able to regulate them. So what is regulating your emotions? What does it look like? It means feeling them. Right? Your emotions are giving you information. It can be a trigger. It's alerting you, hey, something's not right. There's something internally, that you should be focused on healing because this is really painful. It's a reflection. It's a mirror, or it gives us further insight into our belief systems. If we're emotional and it affects us, it's because there's something inside of us that corresponds to whatever is happening in some way. But the first thing that we have to do is know how to regulate our emotions. Instead of being overwhelmed by our emotions, take a moment. Why do I feel this way? What is coming up? Why is this coming up? Give yourself a moment to become in tune with your emotions. And here's the thing that I want to encourage you guys in. I know some of you, especially when it comes to women, a lot of you all have heard that you're too emotional. You're too emotional. In so much, you've heard it so much that you start to believe that you're too emotional. That when you feel emotional, you start to not like how you feel on the emotional level. And you're like, man, my emotions are too much. That's the old story, and that's the old version. You have the opportunity right now to step out of my emotions are too much, I'm too emotional, and step to the version of you that I have been gifted the ability to feel. And now I'm becoming connected even more and in tune with my emotions so that I can understand people at a deeper level and I can direct my emotions into manifestation. So learning how to regulate our emotions, the next thing is directing our emotions. And I just told you a little bit, manifestation, you guys, how we can manifest at a very fast rate is learning how to direct our emotions into what we want to manifest. You'll see a lot of people, business owners, people who are super successful, and they list out, keys of their success. And one of the things that they'll say is you have to be passionate about what you do. What is passion? That passion is these emotions, a fire, a zeal. It's literally an energy that is so activating that they push or direct it into what they're focused on. And that energy transfers with the action and multiplies the results they're looking for. That's manifestation. When you think about it, the emotions is energy in motion. If you can learn how to direct those things, that's why, we all can manifest, but I truly believe that women are some of the most powerful manifestors when they learn how to direct their emotions. So instead of being overwhelmed with your emotions, make friends with your emotion and get so in tune with how you feel that you're able to direct those emotions to whatever you desire. And then the last thing that I want to say in self-mastery, and there's so much more, you guys, and I want to encourage you guys, if you're finding a lot of value with this, join one of my programs. I have a mastermind group, as well as I have a very low-cost monthly meditation group where every single week, privately, I lead meditations. People have been getting breakthroughs in the meditations, as well as, I have an inspiring thought for the week that we prepare. And we're a community of people where every single person is in tune with being the highest version of themselves. How valuable would your life be right now if you knew you had a tribe and a community of people who, no matter what you're going through, is there for you, can help encourage you and lift you out of the negativity to help you direct those emotions into positivity. And then the last thing that I want to say about our emotions and getting in tune getting in tune with self-mastery is you have to embrace your emotions. You have to embrace your emotions because your emotions are a part of you. And until you can truly embrace that it's okay to feel the things that you feel, until you can truly embrace that, your emotions it's okay for you to feel, until you can truly embrace that part of yourself, you're not going to be able to attract anyone into your life who can fully embrace you. You have to embrace yourself first, and your emotions are part of you. Now, and of course, it gets so much deeper, when we have triggers and there's certain things we get upset about, and really it can point us into areas of our life that we can heal and let go, so we'll no longer be emotional or upset about them. But first, before we're able to dive that deep, we have to get in tune with our emotions and start having, a healthy relationship with our emotions. And, those are a couple of things that we can do for self-mastery. And I promise you, whether it's a relationship, whether it's abundance, whether it's, being a spiritual leader or just being super in tune with yourself, everything is on the other side of mastering yourself and developing that level of discipline. Do we have any questions? Man, I talked for 30 minutes straight. No questions. Usually I try to open it up for questions. Somebody said gifted, not afflicted. I love that. Our emotions are a gift. And this is why I care so much about emotions, you guys. Obviously, I'm a man, right? And traditionally, we're like, hey, men aren't as emotional as women. But I am all water. I'm a Pisces, which is, for some of you guys who know astrology, water signs are, generally speaking, the most emotional signs. We feel everything, and my moon sign is Scorpio. So what does that mean? Scorpio is the rulers of the dark waters. It's the deep depths. It's that part of you that's hidden. And for those that have Scorpio placements, we feel things so much inside of our soul that we actually, if we don't focus, we will become that thing. So if we're angry, It's like many people embody it so much that they will just pop off all the time, or jealousy or whatever those emotions are. So growing up, I grew up and, my family didn't understand, why I felt so many different things. So I had to keep it inside and had to bury it. And over my life, I really wanted to study emotions and why do we feel things so deeply. And as I started my healing journey, I realized that a lot of these things that triggered me is because I had held on to, those moments of not being understood, or those, moments of pain. And within that, I was able to also focus or direct my emotions into certain things and, create levels of success. I've either founded or co-founded, 2 7-figure businesses. And, I've been able to create relationships and all of these different accolades, but it's because I've learned how to direct my emotions. But on the flip side, when I didn't direct my emotions, I've seen relationships and things fall apart. So I've spent time really understanding and really studying emotions, and how if we're not careful to be in tune and be able to direct our emotions will override us, and they will give us inconsistencies in life. So we have to be focused and have a level of self-mastery where no matter how we're feeling, we're able to come in tune with those feelings, but still direct them towards what we want, or else we're going to have some successes, some losses, and we're going to have lots of inconsistencies in our life. So regulating, becoming in tune, directing your emotions is one of the most powerful things that you all can do. Someone said you can't control your emotions, but you can control your actions. I disagree with that. I definitely disagree with that, because a lot of our emotions are triggered by our thoughts. It's triggered by our thoughts. So there'll be a split moment where something may come, boom, you have the option to be angry. You can feel the anger rising, but this is nothing to be angry about. I'm not about to give in to that anger. Then boom, you instantly start to feel that emotion, whatever it was that tried to come, it dissipates. So the more you step into self-mastery, the more you get in tune with your body, the more you're going to be able to regulate and direct and control your emotions. Awesome. Well, thank you guys so much for tuning in. I'll see you next week. And until next time, God bless.